Good morning, Year 8. I've got some worded ratio questions for you to have a go at today. They're slightly more difficult than the last lot I set you, and you're going to have to read the instructions really carefully. I'd like you to have a go at these questions yourself by drawing diagrams to help you, and then pause the video before I start to go through the questions. Good luck! Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to have a go at the first question. And in this question, we've got to read it very carefully. It says to make suet, you need fat to flour in the ratio 1:3. So I think I might start this question by writing that fat to flour is in the ratio 1:3. So I know that 1 part is fat and 3 parts are flour. It then says Jane has 120 grams of flour. And what we've got to do is we've got to find out how much fat she needs in order to make the suet. Now, because I've already been told that she's got 120 grams of flour, I can see those 3 parts of flour are worth 120 grams. So if I want to find out what goes in each one of these bubbles, I'm going to do 120 divided by 3, which gives us 40 grams. So I'm just going to write in 40 in each one of my bubbles. That means on the other side of my ratio, I can replace the question mark with a 40 grams, and therefore finally, the answer to my question, the amount of fat, was 40 grams. I hope you got that one right. I'm going to go through the second question now. Example 2. So it says here that 1 brand of coffee is made from Java beans and Colombia beans in the ratio 2:3. So I'm going to write Colombian there. And I'm going to show that by having 2 parts Javan beans and 3 parts Colombian beans. That's the ratio 2:3. It tells me that 270 grams of Colombian beans are used. That means the 3 parts on the right-hand side are worth 270 grams. If I want to find out what goes in one of those bubbles, I'm going to do 270 grams divided by 3. I know that 27 divided by 3 is 9, so I think the answer to this has to be 90 grams. So I'm going to write 90 in each one of my bubbles. And in my ratio, every single part is the same size, so I can now see that the Javan beans are 90 plus 90, which is 180 grams. So my answer to the question is the Java beans are worth 180 grams. I hope you got that one right. Go back to the start. If you didn't get those 2 right, go back to the start of the video and now have a go at the other questions that are left before I start to go through them. Okay, example 3. Mr. Forrest has an orchard of apple and pear trees. So I'm going to write apple and pears. The trees are planted in a ratio of 5:3. 5:3 respectively means that we have to write the ratio in the same order that the words appear. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts are apple trees and 1, 2, 3 parts are pear trees. I can see that he has 45 apple trees, so I'm going to write in the fact that all of those 5 parts there are 45 trees. To find out what goes into one of those bubbles, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts are worth 45 trees. So 45 divided by 5 is 9. So I know that 9 goes into each part of my ratio. I'm going to carry on doing that, and then I'll be able to see that there are 27 pear trees, because 9 add 9 add 9 is 27. So my final answer is there are 27 pear trees altogether. Okay, number 4. Now, I've got general purpose concrete is made by mixing cement, sand and aggregate. Now I've got those 3 components of my concrete and they're mixed in the ratio 1 to 2 to 4. So I've got 1 part cement, 2 parts of sand and 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of aggregate. Now what I've got to do next, I prefer a yellow highlighter. She uses 3 buckets of cement. Okay, now I can see that cement is only 1 part, so I know that that 3 buckets has to go in that 1 part for cement. So I know that 3 goes into every bubble, every part of my ratio. So if I look at sand, I can now see there must be 6 buckets, and aggregate, there must be 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 3, which is 12. So I'm going to write my answer underneath. For sand, it's 6 buckets, and for aggregate, that is 12 buckets. And I always write my units with my answers. The last example is coming up. So I've got Alex, Beth, and Chloe. And they've got a pile of money, and it's split in the ratio between them of 2 to 3 to 7. So 2 bubbles there for Alex, 1, 2, 3 parts for Beth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts for Chloe. It tells me that Beth gets £12. So I can see that Beth's 3 parts are worth £12. So if I do 12 divided equally into 3 parts, I get 4, and that has to go in every single bubble in my ratio. And I mustn't forget Alex over here. Okay, so I can see that Alex gets 4 add 4, which is £8 for Alex. And Chloe gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots of £4, which is £28. So I've written that out there. There are my answers. Thank you for listening. If you would like to have a go at the worksheet I've sent you, please do so. You can do it on paper and you have the answers provided to help you. And then after you've done that, I will be setting a Hegarty task, checking your understanding on this topic. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.